The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is coming with some record-breaking new specs to beat the iPhone 16, and we may even be getting a rebrand, so hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, before we get into all the design and spec upgrades, we've got news that the S25 Ultra could be changing its name to the S25 Note, and this is a bit strange as it's pretty much the reason they stopped making the Note in the first place, but it does also make a lot of sense. Now the S25 Ultra is basically the replacement to the Note, and in changing its name to the S25 Note, they'll also be able to rename the S25 Plus to the S25 Pro, and this is no doubt going to help with sales as well as marketing. Now another great change is that Samsung are reportedly going to be ditching the Exynos chip for the S25 series, and unlike its previous release, this will be for all models of the S25 and not just the Ultra. Now there were always complaints from global users that receive the S phone with an Exynos chip, as Qualcomm's chip generally performs better every single year, but this time Samsung wants to use only the highest performing components for all models, so all three phones are going to be using the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 chipset. Now next up, we've got some news on the displays, and the S25 Ultra is not only going to be getting trimmed down bezels all round, but we're also going to be getting a larger display. Now the new display is going to be 6.86 inches, which is an increase from last year's 6.79 inches, and we know that Samsung are also going to be using their M14 OLED panel, and this is going to deliver a brighter and more accurate display, and it's likely going to be the best mobile display on the market. Now Ice Universe tweeted to say that the S25 Ultra is also going to be the thinnest and the lightest of all of the Ultra flagship phones, and this includes the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the new Pixel 9 Pro XL, so despite the increase in display size, we'll still see a reduction in the dimensions. Now this is no doubt going to be achieved by the new design. We previously had news that these were the full prototypes being worked on, but Ice Universe says that these are actually completely wrong. Now he's been telling us for weeks that the S25 Ultra is going to be more curved than the S24 Ultra, and it's going to be something a little bit more like the Note 7. And he's also tweeted these concept renders here to give us our first look at what the Galaxy S25 Ultra is going to look like. Now I have to admit at the moment I don't really like it, and looking side by side I much prefer the aggressiveness and the sharp corners of the S24 Ultra, but arguably the curves are going to make it more comfortable to hold, and looks are also subjective, so let me know in the comments what you think about the new design. Now I'm currently working on some new 3D renders based on the curved design, and I'm going to release a trailer for that as soon as it's ready. But for those of you excited for the new Galaxy S25 series, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing to help you guys decide if it is going to be worth the wait, so make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got the standard Galaxy S25, which is coming with a 6.36-inch dynamic AMOLED display with improvements to brightness and color accuracy. We're getting a 120Hz display with HDR10+, and a resolution of 1080 by 2340, and of course protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, and then on the rear it's a triple camera setup consisting of a wide, an ultra-wide, and a telephoto camera, but unfortunately at this time we don't know the exact sensors being used. It's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in USA, and the global models are going to be using the Exynos 2500, and it's coming with a choice of 8 or 12 GB of RAM and 128 up to 512 GB storage, and this will be UFS 4. It's coming with a 4100 mAh battery with 45 watt fast charging, and it will of course come with 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra wideband support, and it's going to be launching with One UI 7 based on Android 15, and it's expected to launch from around $800 in January 25. So next up, we've got the Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus, which is coming with a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display, and again we get improvements to brightness and color accuracy. We get a 120Hz display with HDR10+, and a resolution of 1440 by 3120, and again is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, then on the rear it's a triple camera setup consisting of a wide, an ultra-wide, and a telephoto, but again at this moment in time we don't know the exact sensors being used. Now it's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in the USA, and then the global markets are getting the Exynos 2500, and it's coming with 12 GB of RAM and a choice of 256 or 512 storage, and this will of course be UFS 4. It's coming with a 4900 mAh battery with 45 watt fast charging, and of course it's going to come with 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra wideband support, and it's going to be launching with One UI 7 based on Android 15, and is expected to launch from around $1,000 in January 2025. Now finally, we've got the most premium model, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and the S25 Ultra is coming with a 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display with improvements to brightness and the color accuracy. We get a 120Hz display with HDR10+, a resolution of 1440 by 3120, and it's going to be protected by Gorilla Glass Armor 2. We're likely going to get a 12-megapixel camera for the selfies, but there are a few rumors that it could be the first S phone with an under-panel camera. And on the rear, we get a quad-camera setup consisting of a wide, an ultra-wide, a telephoto, and a periscope camera. But again, at this moment in time, we don't know the exact sensors being used. Now it's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in all regions, and it's coming with 12GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, and this will of course be UFS 4. It's coming with a 5000 mAh battery with 45W fast charging, and it will of course come with 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra wideband, and it's going to be launching with One UI 7 based on Android 15, and the S25 Ultra is expected to launch from $1,300 in January 2025. So overall, the Samsung Galaxy S25 series is looking to be a bit similar to its predecessor, but thanks to an exclusive Snapdragon release, it is going to see some big improvements across the board. Now of course, the new S25 Ultra's design also means that we're going to be getting a refreshing change to its design. This of course stayed pretty much the same over multiple generations, and with improvements to the hardware as well as the display, it's going to be a great release. Now a lot of focus is still going into AI, and with the partnership between Samsung and Google, we're no doubt going to get some impressive new AI features on the launch of the S25 series, and I'm excited to see what a more curved S25 Ultra is going to look like. But of course, given its similarities to the predecessor, it's probably not going to make anyone with an S24 want to rush for an upgrade, but for those of you with an older S phone or looking to try out your first S phone, then it will be a great choice. Now of course, launch is still quite a few months away, but we're no doubt going to receive plenty more leaks as we approach it, and I'm going to be sharing them as soon as they come in, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.